My name is Alan Wake. I'm a writer.
In the world of gaming, there are some really great games, and then there are some not so great games, and then there are games that truly move you, games that push the bar forward and prove indisputably the medium's merit as an art form. Alan Wake is this very rare kind of game, and a testament to its talented developers at Remedy Entertainment. This is a horror title by definition, but a strong narrative and satisfying gameplay means that there's something in this experience for everyone. So pull up a chair, sit back, and let me tell you why this is one trip to the Pacific Northwest that you should seriously consider taking. The basic plot of the game goes like this. Alan Wake is a successful novelist who is suffering from a severe case of writer's block which has prevented him from penning a page in several years. His wife Alice brings him to Bright Falls, a small town that's very reminiscent of Twin Peaks, in the hope that he can rest and recharge here. Upon reaching their cabin on the picturesque Cauldron Lake, things begin to go very wrong, however. Soon after settling in and following a heated argument between the two, Alice's screams are heard from the cabin. Alan gives chase as she is pulled into the lake by a mysterious dark presence. It's after diving into these murky waters that he awakens a week later in a car wreck. Alice and his memories gone. While wandering in the nearby woods in search of help, Alan begins to find pages of a manuscript, which bears his name, though he has no memory of writing its graphic material. To his horror, the pages begin to come to life as the writer is hunted by the same dark presence which took his wife. No! It's from this point on that the game is all about finding Alice and discovering the secrets of Bright Falls, as well as the mystery surrounding Alan's lost week. This all unfolds in an episodic structure, with the opening to each new episode documenting the previous events, much like a true TV series. Now, I won't go into too much detail on the plot, as Alan Wake's story is both wonderfully strange and thought-provoking, but I will say that there are a lot of great moments, some well-placed scares, and even a good gag here or there that may just get you.
It was a goddamn space alien!
Beyond the main story, I would also highly recommend venturing into the night to find the game's many manuscript pages. Not only do these tip you off to enemies, but they also give you a neat perspective on the motives of other characters, as well as a greater insight into the goings-on of the town. I should also note that there are 2 downloadable episodes available for the game. These take place after the main game's closing chapter. While I personally enjoy the somewhat ambiguous ending of the game, many people have a problem with this, and these episodes do remedy that situation. These come included on the PC edition of the game, but if you decide to go the 360 route, the episodes will cost you about $7 each. Nonetheless, I would recommend both episodes to all players of the game. To sum it up, I love the story Alan Wake tells. It does have some weird pacing issues toward the latter half of the game, but overall, it'll leave you thinking long after the credits roll. In terms of its gameplay, Alan Wake appears at first to be a very standard third-person action game, but it has a unique twist in the form of its light versus darkness mechanic. Alan carries a flashlight at all times, which will use to dispel the shadows from the taken enemies you encounter. Once you've removed all the darkness, your weapons can then damage the fearsome foes with ease. The catch is that your flashlight runs on batteries, so you'll constantly be reloading and looking for new ones, in addition to your regular weapons ammunition. This really helps elevate the tensions and teach you to be acutely aware of your surroundings, yet you're never fully prepared when things inevitably do go bump in the night. When you do something cool, like pull off a dodge or shoot a flare at a large group have taken, the game will slow down and give you a more cinematic perspective of the action on screen. It really makes you feel like you're beating back the shadows and making some headway against the all-consuming darkness that surrounds Alan. Beyond the standard grunts you'll be fighting, Alan also comes across flocks of crows that will swarm him, much like the krill in Gears of War, as well as a number of objects that will similarly fly right at you. There's also quite a few collectibles and objects you can interact with in the environment, such as the previously mentioned manuscripts, In addition, there are coffee thermoses that you can grab for achievements, radios you can listen to, and televisions that'll let you watch the Night Springs TV series, the game's Twilight Zone counterpart.
Tonight's episode, The Man in the Mirror.
Overall, there's very little to complain about with Alan Wake's gameplay, but that doesn't mean the game doesn't have its fair share of problems.
Get me out of here.
For example, the title doesn't really introduce many elements beyond the light versus darkness mechanic. Sure, there are moments where you're without one or more of your tools and have to run or rely on spotlights, for example. However, these are usually very short sections that soon return you to the regularly scheduled running and gunning. One thing I absolutely loathe is the vehicle controls. It feels almost as if you're turning a really long plank of wood and you'll inevitably lose a couple rides over the course of your adventure. Beyond these issues, the only problem I have is that certain sections of the game overstay their welcome a bit. Episode 3 in particular I wish had been split, as by the end of it you really want to put the game down for a while. Despite these qualms, the game manages to remain entertaining right up until the end, and I'd still highly recommend it. For a game with a teen rating, you may expect Alan Wake's grand horror aspirations to be a little far-fetched, but nothing could be further from the truth. Yes, the game lacks the straight-up gore of something like Dead Space, but it makes up for it with its smart use of lighting, weather, and sound cues. When you're wandering around the woods at night, you never truly feel safe, and it only takes one light bulb going out to send you into a flurry of panic and confusion. Alan Wake is less about in-your-face scares and more about establishing a very subtle, uneasy atmosphere, and it works wonders. The game's soundtrack, as you may expect, is superb and mostly comprised of original tracks by the quite frankly brilliant Petrielenko, as well as some well-placed licensed material that really brings this whole production together. The radios are some of my favorite things to find in the game, and uncovering all the tracks is a wonder. This is one of the few games where I actually own the soundtrack, and I love everything on that soundtrack. Alan Wake's lighting, its sounds, the overall ambiance is incredible. The only complaints I really have is the faces. Case in point, just take one look at Alice's face, or any number of other NPCs for that matter, and you'll see that something's just a little off. Nonetheless, this game, even after 6 years, is truly beautiful, from the lighting to the music. Alan Wake is a one-of-a-kind experience, and there's nothing quite like it out there. This is undoubtedly one of my favorite games of all time, yet I can't ignore that there are some flaws that may hinder your experience somewhat. However, when all is said and done, Alan Wake is a must-play title that warrants your immediate attention. Alan Wake gets a 4 out of 5. Thanks for watching, guys. If you liked this video, please consider subscribing, drop a comment, leave a thumbs up, and all that jazz. I've got news, reviews, and more coming every week, as well as a few surprises on the way, so stay tuned, and thank you for supporting Game Room Hero. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.